Hello, this is Bizarre with 10 ways to demotivate our tech employees. Today we are going to talk about demotivation by performance reviews. Competition can be cruel. Businesses which cannot keep up with delivering more, better, and faster will at some point go down. This survival of the fittest is nothing specific to our modern times nor to our industries. If there is a difference, then it is that the ability to innovate and to adapt to new situations are by far the most important ingredients for the more, better, and faster. And since our employees are the ones who create the value, we have a strong interest in having them bearing their part of the burden. From management perspective, it seems logical to do this in a quantitative manner in our regular financial cycle. So often we set objectives in the beginning of the financial year and review the achievements in the end of the financial year just in time to determine bonuses and compensations. And the prospect of higher payments will motivate our employees to increase their performance and ultimately contribute to the more, better, and faster. Really? Several aspects of this equation deserve a closer look. Do the objectives we are setting really represent what we need? Is a yearly review process an adequate tracking method? And finally, is the connection to the compensations really a good way to motivate our employees? There are good reasons for having a yearly financial cycle, but a yearly process for tracking objectives and achievements does not make sense. There's no way to know what will be important in one year. Most objectives don't have a lifetime of even 6 months. We constantly adapt to change and change our evaluations. We could revisit our objectives on a quarterly or monthly or even weekly base, but this wouldn't be such a good idea. It would increase the effort, but wouldn't solve the dilemma that change doesn't follow a strict plan. We would not have performance reviews if it wasn't about determining the contribution of every single of our employees. The goal would be to reflect the contribution when adapting their salary, bonus, and any other type of compensation. But we should not have illusions about the effect this has on their motivation. The prospect of a higher compensation might motivate some of our employees to superficially fulfill some of the easy objectives or to put themselves in a better light, but it will not especially motivate them to generally do a better job. The whole process of negotiating objectives and arguing about achievements can be quite demotivating for our employees, even if we are trying to be flexible and look at the real contribution. But also the finance department has a word to say in the performance review process. If we don't have enough money to spend, we might have to adjust the ratings of some of our employees for staying in budget. And I would argue that the lack of recognition hurts more than the missing salary increase. But yes, if we increase the salary of some of our employees because of their performance, this will for sure increase their happiness level for some time. But once this time is over, the trigger for happiness will be a bit higher and more difficult to fulfill. Tech employees are intrinsically motivated, stupid. There is no need to motivate them with a performance review process. We could and actually should make them think about what they want to achieve and help them as much as we can with staying on track. In some cases, we might want to influence their goals a bit, but let's face reality. In most cases, our employees know very well what is needed. According to my experience, self-made goals have an expected duration of 2 to 4 months. rarely more than 6 months, and this makes a yearly goal cycle look very strange. We celebrate when we achieve a self-made goal. We adapt the duration when things have changed. And when a goal is not desirable any longer because other things became more important, we might mourn a bit, but then we move on. We don't make goals for measuring performance, but for tracking priorities in our quest to develop great products. Sometimes we have strong doubts about the contribution of a particular employee. We should acknowledge here that this is most likely due to that we have made at least one mistake. We might be wrong with our evaluation and the contribution is bigger than we think. We might have put the employee on the wrong place with the wrong tasks. We might have failed to motivate our employee. This is what this whole series is about. And there is also a chance that the mistake was to hire her or him. This is where organizations normally start performance improvement plans. Everyone deserves a second chance, and it would already be worth it if there was only the slightest possibility. But honestly, I don't see how this can work. I don't see how we can fairly measure performance, leading to a fair evaluation of the improvement. And most of all, I don't see how a performance improvement plan can motivate someone in any way. But even if it doesn't help this particular employee, let us be honest about that it was our failures which led us here and learn from them. Most organizations combine performance reviews with salary reviews because this gives them an objective measure to reward employees according to their actual contributions. If we stop measuring performance, how can we objectively determine the new salaries? First, I would claim that objectivity is an illusion. Employee evaluations have never been objective and will never be. We will always have some bias, and sometimes it might even be good to have it. Salary reviews don't have to be objective, they have to be fair in some way and reflect the value created. One could argue that performance and value creation are the same thing. The difference is that performance is related to an expectation and value creation can happen in unexpected ways. It is still not easy to measure it and even more so to translate it into compensations. No matter how hard we try, we will never reach perfection, but we can move towards it in an open discussion. We should not only look at the results, but also how we got there. We should not forget that a productive atmosphere or connecting other people also creates value. And finally, we should consider the value of things which didn't work out. Today's failures pave the way to future success. So much about performance reviews. Please give this video a like. The next video will be about demotivation by hierarchy.